Hello to all of my Gems family. I'm here doing a Friday motivational. I wanted to share something positive on this Friday. Hey Joshua, how are you doing? Welcome. And to everybody in the chat, to all my Gems family, how was your week? We survived another week. Survived. You made it through this week. And I wanted to talk about surviving challenges because there's a lot of challenges that we have to deal with on a day to day basis. Okay. And I know that, you know, but it's important first to, really focus on some good messages and things that are positive. There's a lot of negativity on social media, and I try my best not to be in that space. I try my best to focus on some of the things that we can do to make our life better, okay? So let's talk about this surviving challenges. You will get past this, okay? And this message is about empowerment. This is about encouraging, motivating, and inspiring you in your life. This channel, Life with Marlene, I am your Florida vlogger, and I bring the things that's going on in my life. And I can never talk about my life and not talk about surviving challenges. And I know that every day, day to day, is going to be different. There's going to be all sorts of things that we have to endure and get through, but we can get through it. We can survive it. And I want you all to know that you can survive and you can get through any problem, any issue, any challenge, anything. And the thing about that is our mindset. We really have to focus on our mindset, and a lot of times our mindset is not in a good space. Let's be real and honest. We always talk about mental health, but mental health is so important, and we really don't pay attention to our mental health until something is wrong with it. But I want you all to know that whatever you're dealing with and whatever you're coping with, you can survive your challenges and you can overcome it. But it first starts with us being transparent enough to talk about our issues with trusted people. So let's do that right now. Let's talk about some of those things. First, we have to definitely define a challenge. See, the thing about a challenge is something that puts you to the test. Do you have some things going on in your life that is testing you emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, physically? You have something that is disrupting that and making it decline, then that's definitely going to be a challenge. That puts you to the test. And people put us to the test living this day to day life, you know, trying to struggle to make ends meet, to provide, to have peace in our mind and our heart. It's so many things that can be a challenge, but I wanted to give some empowerment on this Friday. Whatever challenge it is that you are facing, you can get through it. It's all about our mindset, it's all about our focus, and it's all about the messages that we speak to ourselves. And our words have meaning, our words have power. And I want you all to know it's somebody who needs to hear it, whether you're in a negative space, you don't have the support, you're feeling lonely, you're discouraged. I know so many people have hit rock bottom in this financial economy, dealing with health problems, dealing with people. It's so much stress that happens to us on a day to day basis. And I think it's important just for people to know that you're not alone. You're not the only person going through challenges. And that helps so much to know that, because when you're going through a situation, you only feel like it's only me going through this. And I want you to know that you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one facing challenges and issues. And you're going to get through it. You will get through it, but it's what you tell yourself. I am going to survive this test. I'm going to survive this challenge. I'm going to survive whatever it is that people may have slighted you, said things about you, abandoned you, disrespected you, whatever your challenge is today. Okay. And we're going to talk about some of those tests that you may be dealing with currently. We're going to get into those things right now. And I know that everybody is different. There's no two people going through the same thing. You know, every single person is different. Every single person copes with things differently. Some people talk about their challenges, some people keep it to themselves. Some people, when they're in that challenging situation, they keep themselves busy. Everybody has to find a way to cope and deal with the challenges that they face. But the most important thing is for us to cultivate a positive mindset. Now, that's one that is one of the most difficult things when you're going through a challenge. What is the most normal thing for you to do? For me, the most normal thing for me to do is to complain about what I'm dealing with and going through. That's the easiest thing. That's the norm, is to just, oh, this isn't right, this isn't right, and this isn't right, and pick apart your life and focus on the things that you don't have. It's a whole nother thing for us to say, yes, I have challenges, but I'm going to get through this, that there is some hope. And it's something that we have to create a positive mindset. And the question about it is, how do we create a positive mindset if we don't have it already? It's all about shifting mindsets. And we first shift our mindset by saying to ourselves, I don't like my own personal attitude, or I don't like my personal situation. You can shift anything out of your life if you want to. See, that's the first thing about surviving a challenge, is telling yourself. You have to have a narrative in your mind, and that's why I always talk about your situation may not be positive. You may be dealing with a challenge and an obstacle, but what do you tell yourself in order to continue to endure? And we can have this life that can be very miserable and dark and gloomy. And we can't do things sometimes to shift maybe your job, maybe your physical health, maybe certain people that are in your life. You can't automatically just eliminate those things. But what we can do, what was in our power, and what gives us hope when we're dealing with challenges, is shifting our mindset to something positive. That's one thing we can all do as human beings, is create a positive mindset and cultivate it. And cultivating means working on it continuously. Not that your life is going to be roses and sunshine all the time and people will always treat you good, but you are the one making yourself create a positive mindset, a positive focus, and a positive space for your personal growth. And I didn't understand that until, just a few short years ago, that I was the one that had to be in control of my mindset. I was the one that had to be in control of how I look at my life. It's my choice. And that's empowering to know that we have a choice to make when it comes to our life. You have a choice. You can choose to be positive or you can choose to be negative. It's up to you. And that is something that I didn't understand before. I didn't grasp that fully, because when you're in a situation, sometimes the everything that you're looking at is negative. It's dark. It's discouraging. You don't feel like there is hope. You don't feel like you're going to get through this, or you're very irritated or annoyed or lonely or you're going through challenges and issues, it seems like it's one thing after the other. That one thing doesn't even stop before another problem or issue happens. But no matter what is happening on the outside, we can always do something about our inside, about our mindset, about our attitude. And I think that's something that is very helpful. And it helps me all the time that no matter what it is, that my challenges, my obstacle, my hurdle, my burden, my heavy weights, something that could make me feel very discouraged, just knowing that I can survive and I can get through things, that is like top tier. That helps so much to know that I can get through anything. And I want to say that to all of my GEMS family. I want to say that to you all. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're enduring on today or any day, it may be a chronic problem. It's not something that's just going to disappear if you do this or that. It's something that you have to bear. It's your weight, it's your lot in life, it's your situation. It could be a health problem or a certain individual that you are responsible for, or etc. Apply it to your personal situation. There's some things that we can't do anything to shift. Hey, Realist, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome. And welcome to everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy Friday. Yeah, and that is something that is so important for us to understand, that I can survive any challenge. I can get through any obstacle, but that's all up to us. Having that survival mentality, that looking at life as the glass half full instead of the glass half empty, is all about our perspective. And perspective is so important in having endurance. And I know most of us do not want to endure certain situations. You don't want to. You want it to be removed. You want it to stop. You want it to end. But there's some things in life that we just have to go through because we're humans, or we have to go through because that's just our situation. Maybe with a health problem, a relative, or whoever, whatever the problem is. Sometimes you just have to endure certain things, and some situations, after you maybe make certain decisions, um, you meet different people, maybe you move. When your situation changes, it helps to improve your mental health and your physical health and financial health. Everything would follow. But with all of that, we always have a choice to make every day when we wake up. And this is what helps me all the time to endure with joy. And I know that that may sound foreign, weird, or strange. Like, how can you endure a hard situation with joy? And you can, because I'm doing it every day. So that's how I can speak about it. Just because you have this heavy weight or heavy burden in your life, it doesn't mean that you have to look at your life in a negative space. It doesn't mean that you have to tell yourself, this is terrible, this is awful. Everything is how you choose to look at your life. And I like to wake up every day and focus my mind on what it is that I have, and looking at the glass as half full, that I'm full, I'm not empty. I have everything that I need. I may not have everything that I want. And that right there has helped me to keep a positive, peaceful, and joyful attitude, knowing that I may not be have a lot financially, but I'm rich in blessings. I'm rich in hope. I'm rich in love. I'm rich in understanding. I'm rich in friendships. I Riches is based on a person's personal perspective. They could be looking at just financial when riches is across the board. I feel like the biggest riches in life is having good health, but that's just me and my perspective. Anyways, back to the topic and talking about dealing with, your challenges and how to deal with it. My first thing always is having a positive mindset. And that's something that we have to learn to create. It's not just going to drop into our head, okay, I'm going through this and I'm going to be walking around smiling. If you did that, people would say you're crazy because nobody, it's not normal to smile when we are enduring. It's like, I'll get through this. It's like with sighing and struggling and complaining, but that's up to us. I didn't understand that until I started working on me. When you have a certain lot, a certain challenge, a certain thing that you're going through, a certain period of time in your life where you have this obstacle, okay, I have to deal with this for maybe for a time or something chronic, which is going to be a lifetime, you have to make yourself shift your focus and what you allow your mind to believe. And I didn't understand that was something possible. When you're going through a situation, especially a challenge, something difficult, something very stressful, it's automatic that you're going to be like, oh, this is miserable, this is terrible, this is awful. And you want to feel sad for yourself, you know, stay in the dark, mental health all the way off, complaining about your life, saying people hate you and people are jealous of you and nobody likes me, nobody supports me. Everything in our life is what we say to ourselves. Hey David, how are you doing? Good morning. Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. If you all have not already, if you could please hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. If you have situations in your life, whatever it is, a health issue, financial issue, a challenge in your with your relatives in your home environment, an issue at work, whatever it is that you are enduring, we can always make a choice on how we choose to deal with it. We can always change our attitude. We can always change our perspective, and we can always learn positive self talk. And I didn't even understand how important that was in my life. And that's something that nobody ever taught me. It was just something that I got to this space and I got sick and tired of being angry. I got sick and tired of being the complainer, the procrastinator, the one that always depended on everyone for my fulfillment, for for my value. And when I started to work on me and being happy with me and love me for who I was and what I can do, and that is what helped me so much. When I stopped focusing on others, stop focusing on the outside, and do more focusing on ourselves, self introspection, self reflection, self help, self healing, especially trauma healing too. When we go through some big, heavy things, and especially when you talk about trauma, something traumatic happens to you in your life, and you have to, endure that. And not all the people that are in your life can really understand. Like, people will be there in a moment sometimes when with loss, with grief, with something heavy, maybe surviving a hurricane, a tornado, a fire, a storm. People will be rally around you for that moment, but after that moment, it's back to reality, and you have to face this on your own for the most part. So, with all of that being said, I said that because I think it's important for us to learn to have inner dialogue. That's something that I had to learn in working on myself, and that is what will help you to get through any situation. Everything in this life is what you tell yourself. And when you tell yourself things aren't working, this is too much. I hate my life. Everybody hates me. Nobody cares about me. You are going to get, I believe 100% that you get out of life what you believe. You get out of this life what you believe. If you believe that life is terrible, you're going to get more and more terrible things. But when you start saying, my life is beautiful, I am a good person, I only draw positive energy and positive people, and you start looking for the best in other people, not that people don't have flaws and they're not irritating and they don't do, X, Y, and Z, because people are human. But when you choose to look at other people in positive ways and the good in them and not focus on the bad, I think that changes a lot of things. That helped my attitude so much. If you only look for at the differences, if you only look at the flaws in others, that affects you too. And I didn't even understand that's part of being negative. It's a part of being judgmental, and it's a part of being transparent and honest with yourself. Of course, everybody is not going to be you, like the same things, think what you think, but you have to widen your lens, widen your perspective, and that's a part of being an adult. It's learning that it's okay. Like, that may not be a person that I want to hang out with, but learning to uh, get along with other people, learning to agree to disagree. I feel like that's really something to celebrate. That's something to boast about. Like I can get along with anybody, and if I can't get along with that person, that's I always know if I can't get along with somebody, that's beyond me. Because stop picking up charity cases is another thing that I had to learn, to stop trying to fix other people. You can't fix people, you can't make people grow up. And that was a challenge that I always was trying to do from my childhood. I've always been that person that I see potential in people. I see what people can be, but if another person does not want to look at themselves in the mirror and believe that about themselves, you're wasting your time, you know? And so the thing about it is stop looking for projects. Stop looking for to help people. And it's nice if you can, if it's in your power. Not always believe. I believe in the power of your hand. I believe in the power of your words, what you say to other people. I believe in the power of manifestation. I believe in that fully. You have to be very careful what you say to yourself. You have to be careful what you speak over your life. And I didn't understand that value until I started to value myself. When you value yourself, when you love yourself, there's certain things that you just will not say. And some of those examples is stop saying that you can't and you won't, or you're stupid. I can't get through this. I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to do this. If you don't know how to do something, find out, gain the knowledge, Google, take a class, watch a video, or get somebody to help you to do it, or get somebody to do that for you. There's always ways that we can troubleshoot in this life. And one of the things that helped me so much in dealing with challenges is that there's some things that I had to learn, that I needed to ask for help when needed. Not all the time, but when a challenge faces you, and you've done all the work as an adult. You've troubleshoot, you've tried to gain knowledge, you try to do. There's certain things that you just may not be able to do, and it does not make you a weak person. And that is the thing. We feel sometimes as a woman or as a man, I'm weak if I ask for help. I'm weak if I let somebody know that I don't understand or don't know how to do something, because let me tell you, this world is set up to chew you up and spit you out if you don't keep up, or if another person sees something in you that they have some leverage over you. Yeah, people will take advantage. So you do have to be careful on who you inform of your struggles and your challenges. And I always say that, walk in silence. And just because a person asks you your business, it doesn't mean you have to tell them. That's a message for somebody, because that used to be me all the time. Like, feeling that because I know a person, that I can trust a person. Knowing a person and trusting a person is two different things. Not everybody is going to value and treasure the things that you're saying, and keep it and hold it and not spread it around or clown you. Or some people honestly just don't care about us. That's something that is a major challenge for many people, is having a lot of people around you. You can know a lot of people, but it doesn't mean there's a lot of people who care about you. And I feel like that one is for someone. I know that was something for me even a few days ago. Not everybody who is in your life deserves to be in your life. You know, they're in your life, but they don't deserve that position. We allow them to be there. We have not dismissed them, removed them, blocked them. Stop telling them our business. There's a lot of people who do not deserve us. They do not deserve you, your time, your energy, your money, your everything. But you allow them to be there because of whatever, because of a title, because this is my kid, or this is my spouse, this is my friend, this is this person, this is my grandmother, this is my cousin, my sibling. Okay, but how do they treat you? How do they make you feel? That mental health thing is a real thing. There's a lot of people who have mental health issues. I would even say so many people have mental illness undiagnosed that do not know it, and will project their issues, their challenges, their insecurities, their fears onto you. And you have to be careful. You really have to be careful in this life about what you listen to. And you can care about people, but there's certain people, it's like you can't be their project. You can't fix them. And some people, you can't help them because they don't want to be helped. And that was something really big for me, not really comprehending that, because like I said, I've always been a person that I want to help other people. I want to fix them. I want to make them happy like I am. And there's a lot of people that you cannot make them happy because they don't want to be happy. And when I got to the space in my life where I had to make a decision that I wanted to be happy, even if they weren't, hmm. regardless of what they want, you know, we have to make a choice if we want to deal with them. Hold on a second, guys. And that's one of the things about this life is we have to make a decision about challenges, about our mindset, and asking ourselves if we're happy. You know, there's so much in this life that life has to offer. life has so much to offer us as human beings, so many things that can make us happy, you know? There's so much that can make us happy, but we're the one that has to make that decision, you know, if we want to be happy, you know? Do you want to be happy or no? And that was the whole thing with me coming to that conclusion. Am I going to allow myself to be happy? And yes, I said allow. We have to find out if we want to be happy. And that was the thing that was really hard to cope with and deal with. I didn't want to be happy at a certain period of time in my life because of anger, because of drama, because of unresolved issues, because of negativity, because of certain people in my life. And I'll say something that there's a lot of people that will block your peace and block your happiness in your life if you let them. If you let them. And the thing about it is that most of the time we let them block block us from our dreams and our hopes, and we don't even know we're doing it. We don't even know sometimes. We don't even know sometimes that we are causing people to be enabled. You know, we enable people for such a long time. I know that I've enabled siblings, I've enabled other relatives, enabled friends, enable person in a romantic relationship. We do things for people that we don't want to do, and then we complain about it, you know. And we have to shift that. We have to change that. If you are a mature woman or a mature man and you don't like something, you don't want to do it, then stop doing it. And that can be a challenge because you have enabled people to disable them. You've started something that now you want to stop, and you know that it's going to make people upset because, you know, let's be honest, you created a monster, created an animal, you created this situation because you just didn't do what you were supposed to do. And I get it. I understand, but that's a part of maturity and personal growth is learning to speak up and say, I don't like this. I don't like X, Y, and Z. I don't like the way that this person has treated me, or you've talked about, you know, what you want them to do and nothing, crickets. So after you've informed people of what they're doing and you don't like it and they don't care, now this is when you have to make a choice to choose yourself. And I feel like that's another challenge in itself, is learning to choose yourself. And that was one of the things that I didn't grow up in. That I've said that many times. Those of you who have been following me on this channel or my other channels know that I come from a very big family, and from I was young, I was taught to, you know, give and support others, be there, give all the time. But I was never taught in my life to give to myself. And I think that that's a big mistake that a lot of adults, they don't teach their kids no, you know. And that's a very powerful thing to teach your children, teaching them to say no and to not feel guilty, to take care of yourself, to be independent, to have a different perspective and attitude, and don't care what other people think about it, you know. Not that you don't care what other people think, but you can't stop your dreams. You can't stop your health, your overall well-being, because another person is not in agreement of what you think or what you are saying. And that is something that I had to learn as a woman, that everybody's not going to agree with me, and that's okay. And I'm saying that to someone who needs to hear this too. It's okay if everybody is not on board with your dreams. It's okay if people don't like you. It's okay if people don't understand. It's all right. Let them be. Leave them alone. Everything will be okay. You didn't need them anyways. We feel sometimes that we need people, but we actually don't. You know? And that's the thing. We feel that we need people, and that's something that we have to grow into. You know, what we say to ourselves. You know, stop telling yourself that you need this person or you need that person, and you actually don't. Okay, you don't. You'll be okay. Everything will be all right. Don't worry about what they have to say. What is important is, what do you say? What do you think about yourself? How does that person make you feel? And for me, that was a major challenge for me, because like I said, I didn't grow up thinking about me and how I feel and what I was going through and what I was enduring, because I was always in the mode of giving and never receiving. That is something that is really not good for your mental health. It's really, really not good for your mental health. That's a major challenge for your mental health, a major challenge. So you're the one that has to do something about it. You're the one that has to make your life better. All of that is up to you. You know, that's up to you. If you want to have peace in your life, if you want to have joy in your life, if you want better, then you'll do better. And a lot of people don't understand how much power they have in their mind, in the power of your mind, the power of change, and the power of hope. You know, you have a power to shift anything you want into your life, anything you want, and giving yourself that empowerment. I can have anything I want. I can do anything I want. If there's something that I want, there's nothing that can stop me. And it's like, wow, just knowing that I'm stronger than I think, I'm stronger than I believe, and I can get through anything, you know, with strength and courage, and I'll be all right. So I say that to anybody who is listening right now. You can get through any situation. You don't need certain people in your life. We want people in our life, but if they're not treating us properly, why do you want them to stay? It's because you got to do some work on yourself. And a lot of us don't want to do that heavy lifting, that hard work, to really go in deep into ourselves and to say, uh, why do I need this person in my life? Why does this person have this effect on me to allow me to be blocked from my mental health, from, you know, their control, their manipulation, their jealousy, their all of these things. And that's something, as a human being, as a grown woman or a grown man, that we need to ask ourselves, why do I allow myself to be manipulated, used, and controlled? And that, right, by definition, that's toxicity. And there's a lot of toxicity that happens to many of us, a lot of toxicity, but we really don't talk about those things because we're afraid. We're afraid of um, doing things by ourselves. We're afraid of people leaving our life. We want people to stick around, but at the end of the day, why would you want somebody that is bringing you pain, that is disrupting your peace, that's messing up your mental health to stick around? But what I learned about myself is we want people to stick around because we have not put in the work into ourselves. We have not really loved ourselves fully in the way that we deserve. And I say that to all of you: love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. Love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And don't let anybody get to you. Don't let people get to you. Don't let relatives get to you. And especially don't let people on social media get to you, because that's a whole thing. There's so much people on social media that feel that they know you. They know what you're going through. They know what you're dealing with, and they don't. They're not you. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're dealing with. They don't. Just and you just got to move past all of that. You have to. You have to move past all of that and not allowing other people to get to you. Okay? Don't let them get to you. You have to be the one to speak up for yourself. You have to be the one to say, I deserve more than this. Everything is about perspective and challenging society's norms, but it's all up to us. And when you make that choice to say, enough, I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me. I'm not going to allow you to make me feel any other way than good. If people aren't making you feel good, if they're not pouring into you, it's time for you to cut those people off. And I mean that. Cut people off that do not support you. Cut people off that don't listen to you. Cut them off. Stop keeping them in your life, because you deserve way better than that. You really and truly do. And for such a long period of time in my life, that was so hard for me to do, because the people around me, uh, women in my life, were not that way. They were completely dependent on others and what they thought. And I wanted to be different, not just for me, but I wanted to be different for future generations that were watching me, and whether we know it or not, you have people that are watching you, that are looking up to you, you know. And the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a good role model, be a good example? Are you going to teach them a lesson that it's never too late to change your life? It's never too late to do something great in your life. It isn't. It's never too late. So start over again, and that's something that you have to do sometimes. Literally, you have to start over again, and move away from negative people, drama people, abusive people, toxic people. You just may have to shift, like literally shift your location. Other times you have to shift who you're talking to. And other times you have to shift who you are supporting, because that could be the reason why you are having so many issues. Um, for myself, I had so much people that were in my life that were always just so negative, always complaining about life and and what is going on and all kinds of stuff. And you just got to leave those people alone because they'll never change. They're users, they're complainers, they're usually very lazy people, angry people. And if you want to be happy in this life, I had to learn that I cannot be around people who are unhappy because they will zap, remove, block your energy. They'll stop your blessings, your hopes, and your dreams. And I'm not saying that because I read it in a book. It's because I have endured it. I have endured for so many years dealing with people who don't love themselves, dealing with people who don't want to do anything but complain. And it gets to be so old. It's tiring, it's taxing, and it's just is not going to work anymore. It's definitely just not going to work. So it doesn't work. So when you find that something in this life is not working, you just got to do something different. And that was something that I had to take a break. You know, if anybody is going through something in their life right now, if you're enduring a certain situation, take a break from people, step back from people who are negative, people who are in everybody's business, people who have everything to say about you. Take a break from social media and just start focusing on yourself. When you start taking care of yourself, I found that my mental health was better, my physical, my financial, just my overall well being. I was so much happier when I learned to just stop taking care of everybody and learning to start taking care of me. If you don't have people who are, you know, in the right mindset and loving and kind, they will have you completely off track from your goals and your purpose and loving yourself how you deserve to be loved. And that's just not going to work. Hey, Lara, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Friday. If we're not careful, we'll have people who will take us off track from our purpose if we're not careful. So that's the whole thing that, I'm not going to, that's another topic for another day. But I did want to say that you have to be very careful who you let into your personal circle, who you trust, who you associate with, because that could be the reason why you're struggling so much right now. You have to be careful who you allow into your mind. You have to be careful who you trust. It's a lot. It's a lot as an adult to endure. It's so much to endure, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. I believe that all things are possible if you believe it. If you believe it, if you think it, if it's something that you want to do in your life, if it's a goal, something you want to accomplish, then do it. Don't wait. Don't ask anybody for permission. Just do it. No. And that is something that had stopped me for a long time and became a major challenge, is learning to stop people pleasing, learning to stop asking people in my life for permission to live or to try when I just needed to try. I just needed to go for it. Good morning, Tracy. How are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. If you have to try, and keep trying. It's not just a one and done thing. It's you have to put in some work. some heavy work, some heavy lifting in order for you to have the life that you want. And I'll tell you that it's not easy these days. It really isn't. It isn't easy to endure. It's not easy to continue. It's not easy to feel that there is hope when you're looking at your whole situation and it doesn't look like there's hope. You're looking at a challenge and you're like, when is this going to lift? When is this going to shift? When it doesn't look like it's going to change, that's when the weight of your challenge feels heavier, right? But it's all good. I feel like in everything in life, things happen to us in order to grow us, in order to make us become better women, to be better men, to learn something about ourselves, to learn who we can trust, to learn who we can support, who we should support. And what I've learned in surviving challenges is don't expect for certain individuals to be the one that will take you through a certain season of difficulty. You know, I've always said that the ones that you would never believe, the ones that you would never expect to support, to understand, to uplift, to upbuild you will be the very one. And if it's not somebody that you know, I'm telling you 100% that somebody will come out of nowhere and support you and give you the words you need, the encouragement you need. So I know that I always talk about within being positive and happy and giving yourself peace and joy and loving yourself. But when certain situations happen to us in our life, sometimes it's just not possible, you know? No matter what, we're doing our best, we're struggling, and we just can't do it because there's certain things that we cannot do. There's certain times where you actually need good friends, you need good associates, you need people who are going to pour into you in those hard times. And I understand it's really upsetting when you have looked and waited and the people that you wanted to support you don't. And I tell you that's like a knife in the heart. I don't know how many of you all have endured something like that. You are expecting a friend or a relative or your romantic partner to do something for you or to support you in some way or to, just be there or listen or whatever it is that you needed, in your love language. And when you don't get it, it's very hurtful. But I always say that things happen for a reason. And also, everybody is going through something. And that's why communication is so important. For me, in surviving challenges in this life, it's about communication. I'm so glad to hear that, Tracy. TGIF. To survive this life, you have to communicate. The people who just refuse to communicate, have poor communication, they cannot hold a place in my life. I'm way too grown. I always say at this big age in my life, I'm too old to be guessing. I'm too old to be, rationalizing. I'm too old to be wondering what you think. I'm not going to do that. If and some people, it's like their personality, like you're pulling teeth. It's so arduous. It's so frustrating to deal with certain individuals because they don't want to communicate. And I get it. Sometimes it's because certain people don't know how to communicate. And that's a difficult thing. But just because a person may be a certain way, anybody, if they want to, they can change. But there's a lot of people that don't want to change. They don't want to do anything because They're comfortable with accepting their situation, their lot in life. They're comfortable, but it doesn't mean you have to be comfortable with them. It doesn't mean you have to continue it with them in their foolishness. It doesn't mean you have to keep giving money or giving your time and your energy. You know, I learned so much about myself. Hey, Real Odds and Evens, how are you doing? Happy Friday. I learned so much about myself recently. You know, I always said that when you are enduring something that's really heavy, and when you feel like sometimes it's just you holding the weight of the world, and you realize a few things about yourself. You know, you never know how strong you are until you endure certain obstacles, certain struggles. There's certain things that I feel like no human being should ever have to endure. You know, grief, jealousy, backstabbing, drama, people's reputation being tarnished. It's a lot, you know, struggling with financial issues, dealing with health problems. There's so much that we should never have to endure, but here we are, you know, here we are. It's another day. And that's one thing about life is if we don't do something about our life, if we don't make a choice to have peace, to be peaceable, and to shift our life into something different and better, we're going to get what we always have gotten. And that was something major that I had to learn for myself. You're going to get what you've always had unless you make a choice to do an overhaul and do an evaluation, like what is going on with my life. I'm not happy, and what is this? You know, so many things on so many levels that you have to really look at yourself and be transparent. And for me, I had to look at myself like, oh, my health, like I wasn't taking care of myself, wasn't eating right, had a lot of toxic people in my life. I wasn't taking care of myself financially. I was doing a job that I hated. It was just so many things that was happening in my life, but I didn't understand that all of those things, I had the power to shift it and to change it. I had the power to make myself happy. Yes. And you do too. You have the power to make yourself happy. You have the power to look at your life with hope. You have the power to be at peace. You have the power to have joy, all in your challenge, all in your struggle, and regardless of what other people say. And for me, when I started to remove toxic people, drama people, and don't let it stop me from living my life, you know, dressing how I like to dress, you know, go out, and you don't have to have a circle of people, you know, go out and take yourself to a nice dinner or movies or whatever it is that you like to do for your entertainment and have fun. You know, don't wait for other people to live your life. And that's what my channel honestly is about, living your life, you know, on your terms, doing the things that you want to do and not waiting for permission from whoever is in your life. And I think that's something really important. And I hope that when I do my videos that I show people that, you know, there's a lot of times where I want to have, you know, like friends or relatives with me, but there's certain things in life that if you really want to do it and the opportunity presents itself, go and have that dinner. You know, there's a lot of things I remember when I was younger. I wish I was the way that I am now, like a lot of restaurants I went to go to, and events and concerts and travel that I just wouldn't go to because I wanted to have people with me. And if you always wait for other people before you get to your goal, if you're always waiting for other people to make you happy and to support you, what if they don't? What if you never get supported in your life? What if people never show up for you? Are you going to go through your whole life unhappy and never do the things that you like to do and never live your dreams out loud? And that was something that I had to have my time of introspection, reflection, transparency, meditation, my prayer. I had to, go through all of those spaces of my life. And when I came to the space of transparency, that, the people that I care about so much may not care about me the way I care about them. And that was the reason why I had to start doing more walking in silence and minding my own business and stop telling people what I was doing and just do it. I wanted to say that to everybody. Just do it. Just go out there. You don't have to tell people, I'm in school, I'm doing this, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna get a car, I'm gonna go on this trip. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to explain it to anybody either. If you want to do something, go for it. And what I learned the first time I did my first solo trip, I have to say in the beginning, like I was so anxious, like I didn't even sleep the night before, like I was so scared. But because it was all of the things that other people had projected their fears and their insecurities onto me, and when the reality happens, it was quiet, it was peaceful. I was so happy. I had the time of my life. It was wonderful. I didn't have to worry about waiting for anybody. I didn't have to worry about people and their drama and complaining. And, oh, I don't want to go here. I don't want to do that. That's too expensive. I don't like that. You don't have to do that when you go somewhere solo. That's why I love solo travel so much, because you do what you want to. You get up and you go when you want to. You can stay, you can linger, you can go off the beaten path. If you want to do that, then go for it. So I encourage anybody, solo travel. Okay. Don't wait for other people. If there's something you want to travel to, then make a plan, find out how much it costs. And that was one of the things that I had to learn about. Even in your struggle, you got to find some things that you're reaching for. You got to find something that you can like reach out and touch, something tangible. And that's what helps me to endure, even if it's something small. It doesn't have to be something that costs anything. You can have something you plan that's going to be a free event. I'm going to go on a hiking trail at the end of the month. That always gives me something to look forward to at the end of every month or the beginning of every month, whenever you have some downtime, some solo time. And that for me is self-care. Making planned trips is something I do for me, and that is for my self-care, because I got to take time just for me, for my peace and my quiet and my joy, and to help me to understand that, I'm my own friend and I don't need anybody else to be around to be happy. I'm happy all on my own. And that takes a very strong woman, and it takes a very strong man to be able to do that. There's a lot of people that have never done anything solo because, oh, I have to go with a sibling, or I have to go with a friend, or I have to go with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife. No, you don't. You can do it alone. It'll probably be a way better experience, quieter, less stress, more fun, more peaceable. I'm just saying. Tracy says, I took myself to lunch last week. I thought it would be awkward, but it was actually very freeing, very nice. Yeah, do more of that, Tracy. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Glad you had a good time. And see that right there, I think the first time you do something, you believe certain things. You have this idea, this notion in your head, oh, people will be looking at me, people will think I'm strange, and this will happen, that will happen, you know. And then when it happens, it's nothing like that. So free yourself from those things too, and give yourself, the permission to go for something you want to do. Go for it. Challenge it. Enjoy your life. Absolutely very relatable. Then you just go in it alone. Yeah. And my personal view, it's not everybody's, but I believe that I'm never alone. And that has been helping me a lot. Before, I used to be in that mode because of, you know, elders in my family, older people. And I think my upbringing gave me a lot of anxiety because they would always say, "Oh, you can't do that. You have to wait on a sibling, or you have to wait on this person. You're always waiting on somebody to do something. You never can just do something on your own." And it took me a long time to get out that mode of I wouldn't call it brainwashing, but a lot of projecting fears and insecurities. I had to learn to dismiss those fears one by one on my own, that I was not going to crash and burn. The plane wasn't going to, explode. I wasn't going to have a horrible experience. I've actually been learning that I'm more extroverted than I thought. I always thought I was an introvert, but it's because I was raised to be that way. Stay home and you only go this place with if you have a friend or somebody else. If you go by yourself, you'll be bored, you'll feel uncomfortable, and you don't. I think everything is the narrative you tell yourself. You become, or you are, what you think, what you believe. And I've been working on something recently that has been very freeing. I've been working on my overall well-being. First, starting with my emotional, emotional baggage. And I want to say that to anybody who has gone through some heavy things. I hope none of my GEMS family has ever gone through abuse. But if you have, like myself, you're not alone. You feel like you're alone sometimes, but you're not alone. There's a lot of people who are dealing with it, who are going through it right now. It's a lot of people who have passed that and just trying to cope. And it affects you for a really long time. It gives you some anxiety. It gives you like a feelings of worthlessness. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you feel like you're not enough. It gives you trust issues. But, I had to learn to put those things in perspective. People who brought harm to me, that's not me. It's on them. And I had to learn to stop blocking my life, my potential, my gifts, my blessings, my hopes, and my dreams, all because I was hurt, all because of whatever the person had done. You can't let your life keep going by and you're always looking in the rearview mirror. But the past is behind you. It's about the present moment. And when I learned that, like, it's about your present moment and to stop focusing on the past, that helped me a lot. That helped me to shift my mindset, because you can become overwhelmed with your problems and your situation and what other people did, and asking yourself why. See, that word why got me stuck for a long time, like being angry with people. Why did they do this to me? Why did they hurt me? Why didn't they support me? Why would they ever do something like this? What did I ever do to them? And when I really dissected it, when I did introspection, that there's a lot of things that I honestly did And there's also things that I allowed that I should not have. And when we learn how to be honest enough, with ourselves, honest enough with other people, then we just don't you just don't have to deal with those people. You just don't have to deal with those situations. That when you make a choice to say, I don't have to deal with this anymore, then you don't. You know? When you make a decision to say, I don't have to deal with this, that changed my life. When I started, like, nope, I'm not gonna call this person because I'm the one always calling. Or nope, I'm not going to give this person money. Nope, I'm not going to show up for them because they don't show up for me. Or why should I go there and I know that they don't like me, and apply that to anybody in your life that doesn't like you. See, we don't sugarcoat things over here. We don't play those type of games. We're too grown for that. You know the people who don't like you, relative, quote unquote friend, workmates, people on social media. You know. So, move according to that. Okay? Move according to that. When people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them the first time. I always quote Maya Angelou. That's my favorite quote by her. Believe them the first time. Don't keep knocking your head against the wall or expecting a different reality from the same situation. That's called insanity. That makes no sense. It makes no sense to feel that people are going to change and they haven't done anything that has made you think that they are changing. Because it's easy for people to keep lying to us and to tell us, and what it is they have you chasing that carrot, running after them, or believing these false hopes and false dreams. People will tell all kinds of lies to you. Oh, I'm here for you. I got, we're going to do this. I'm about to do that. I'm going to make changes. I care about you. I love you. People will say anything so that they can keep using you. People will say anything so that they can keep sleeping with you. People will say anything so that they can manipulate your mind. People will say anything so that they can keep you down and keep you stuck. People will say anything to you if they know that they're going to get a reaction from you. And I had to learn, when people say something negative to me, it's not about me. That's not a personal attack. Because if somebody's saying something to you, that's not true. That you're not about that. That's just a projection. While you don't like it, you got to stop putting so much weight and power into it. And I had to learn that, as a woman, to stop giving my power away so easily. You are the one that makes a choice on the energy that you have. You make a choice on how you choose to show up or not show up. You make that choice. What kind of power are you going to show up? Negative power? Positive power? Is your energy going to be low, or is your energy going to be high? And all of that is up to us. I didn't understand how important that was, to have that perspective, that it was up to me to be positive. It was up to me to just not deal with certain individuals. That all of that was up to me. And I had that power, that I don't have to stay anywhere where I don't fit in. I don't have to stay anywhere where people are making me feel like I'm stupid, like, I don't know if any of you have ever had to endure this. I hope not. But, going somewhere and people will look at you up and down and just start talking about you right in your face. Oh, that's what you are? Oh, you've gained weight. Oh, are you still doing that job? that job has never been good for you. Always they always have something negative to say every time they open up their mouth about you. But do you allow that? Do you allow people to keep hurting you? Do you allow people to keep using you? And that's something for your reflection in your quiet time. Why do you allow yourself to be around people who don't care about you? Why do you allow it? Only a question that you can answer. You're the one that has to answer that. Nobody can answer that for you but you. Nobody. And we have to stop giving our power away. To be honest with y'all, we have to stop giving our power away. We have to stop listening to people who really and honestly don't care for us. They really and honestly don't rock with us. Okay? And when I started to be honest with myself and be like, you know what? Why am I here? I remember when I came to that revelation, like, why am I here? That people don't even want you here. They're not even talking to you. They're treating you badly. They're not nice to you. They're not kind. It's like, no more. I had to make a choice to stop being in places and spaces where I wasn't accepted, where I wasn't loved, places that I wasn't growing in. If you're not growing, being around certain people, if there's no personal development, let it go. If you are not growing, gotta go. That's just not optional. If I'm not growing, being around you, I have to go. Oh, what I'm saying. If you're not growing, being around them, you got to go. You have to leave those people alone because they'll never stop. They'll never stop. They'll never do right unless they want to. But in the meantime, you shouldn't be around people who don't care about you. And I want to apply this to romantic relationships right now. I don't know how many of you all have either if you're in it or you've left it. It's an awful feeling being with somebody that doesn't care about you, that doesn't pour into you, that doesn't appreciate you. That person that is always complaining, toxic, or a person who's very jealous. It's an awful thing to be in that sort of relationship, feeling that they never accept you for who you are. They never make you feel good and happy. It's always something that they are complaining about you for. Honestly, there's a lot of times you'll be in a relationship and it's just not the right person for you. It's not a person that you were supposed to ever be with, but you rationalize and you get comfortable in the relationship where you think that it's supposed to be a certain way and it's not, because the communication is just not there. It's just not a good person for you, because I always say that when you're with the right person, you're gonna feel peace. When you're with the right person, there will be joy. There's going to be personal growth. There's going to be a lot of laughter and joy. It's going to be all of those things. So that's something that I had to honestly learn for myself, that if I wasn't happy, then that was on me. I was the one that had to make a decision and say, it's time to be happy. I'm going to put the link in here. if anybody is interested in coming up. I'm only going to be on here like about 41 minutes. It said it was up to me to be happy. And I know for myself, there was such a long period of time in my life where I just definitely was not happy. I definitely was. I was very unhappy, very miserable, very sad, depressed, I should say. If we're going to be honest, I was very, very depressed. And then that was up to me. I was very depressed because I didn't think I could do anything about it. And you can. You can leave those people alone. You can get out and live your life without their permission. You know, one thing that had empowered me is stop telling people what I'm doing. Like people will ask you, "What are you doing?" And they're always saying, "What you doing now?" Stop telling them. Don't tell people nothing. Just live your life unapologetically. You know, because the majority of people who are asking you what you're doing, they just want to know your business. They don't really care to support you. They don't really care, for you to do something. They just want to know your business. And that's something that I have to learn, that just because people are asking you something, it doesn't mean you have to tell them. My surviving challenges was learning to close my mouth and stop talking and get more into my purpose and my life, and my joy and my personal healing and my personal development and joy and accomplishing my goals that I felt that I deserved to accomplish. So I wanted to say that to somebody. If there's something that you have told yourself, "Oh, I want to do this or that," go for it. Make a plan, save some money, whatever it is that you need to do, get a mentor, gain some knowledge, and then go for it. You know, and that's something that I never, and I mean never, would have done before. I would always just say, "Oh, I'm too busy." What it is that we say we're too busy when we really don't want to do it. Anything that you want to do, you'll do it. Any person that you want to be there for, you will be. You make time for what's important to you. And I had to learn that there were certain things that just was not important. And certain people that were not important to me because of the way that they treated me. Ghosting people, a person who likes to yell or argue with you, a person who is very controlling, manipulative, a person that you honestly just cannot trust. It's just not worth it, to be honest with you all. It's not worth it trying to force or salvage relationships. Either you're thriving in a relationship or you're not. There's always going to be seasons of hard times, but all relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, relative relationships, work relationships, even business relationships. If there's not good communication, if there's not respect, if there's not support, cut it off. Cut it off. If I knew back then what I know now I don't play about cutting people off. In any relationship, any person. If a person is acting crazy, or I find that a person just does not keep their word, that's one of the things as I'm getting older that I hate. Capital HATE. I hate when someone does not keep their word. I would rather somebody just not say anything to me than to say something and then don't do it. I cannot stand that. It aggravates me to no end. And the people who don't, they fall through on what they said they're going to do, when it falls through, they don't even say anything. There's no apology. It's just complete disrespect. And that's one of the things that, you know, we struggle with that sometimes when we don't have to. When somebody keeps making promises to you that they know that they can't keep, why do you keep allowing them to stay in your life? Why do you keep trusting people that have already proven that they can't be trusted? You know, why are you listening to people that you know everything that comes out of their mouth is going to be something sinister, drama filled, a lie? You know, you can't depend on them. They're not a reliable person. And that's something that really affects my mental health as a person who is flaky. Can't deal with flaky people. It's either you're in or you're out. But a person like this, you never know how they're going to be. It's a no for me. Because I put in so much work into myself. I don't know about you all. I don't know your personal situation, what you're personally enduring, but I can speak for myself. I have been through too many things in my life to allow anybody to disrupt my peace anymore. I've done too many things to survive, and people can never understand that unless you have endured it. Unless you have endured feeling like you wanted to give up, feeling like, you know, you want to throw in the towel, feeling like abandoned and just in a really dark space. Unless it's only those that know. You know, you can't explain things to people who have never been through it. People don't care. That's another thing about it. And one thing that I had to learn is to stop struggling with somebody who wouldn't struggle for you. Or is it the people in your life, are they struggling for you? It's a different thing when you're struggling together. But when you're the only one struggling and there's no communication, there's no positivity, there's no like support, there's no we'll get through this, there's no I'm here for you, there's no listening, there's no communication. Yeah, those are individuals where you got to cut them off. You got to release them. You got to let those individuals go. And I want to say, talking about surviving challenges, you're going to get past. But one thing is that you have to embrace some new opportunities. And I know when you're going through a challenge, it definitely does not feel like it's an opportunity. But every roadblock, every obstacle is an opportunity. It's all about how you look at it. It's your opportunity to learn something. It's your opportunity to grow. It's your opportunity to embrace newness and a new lifestyle. It's all about what you think. It's about how you choose to look at your life. Embrace the new opportunities, the new doors, the new possibilities, the new mindset, the new focus, the new people in your life. Yeah, embrace it. Embrace all of those challenges, all of those opportunities. And something that we really don't think about is there's so many opportunities that face us. No matter how old you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what you have endured, opportunities are all around us. And we can change our life. We can change our perspective. We can change our people that we are around and the people that we support. We have to stop supporting people who don't support us. We have to stop trying to rationalize who we are and why aren't they here. If somebody wants to be there for you, they will. And if they don't, they won't. So, free yourself and cut them off. Block people for your peace of mind, block people for your mental health. I always say that I think it's so important to block people for your mental health or your own peace of mind, because when your mental health is not in a good space, it's not a good look. It's not a good feeling when you don't get the support that you need. And the thing about it is that if a person is already not communicating with you, it's like, how can you trust somebody to tell them what you're going through? Because you don't know it. Whatever time they're upset, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're just going to ghost you and drop out of your life again. So I no longer deal with that anymore. If somebody cannot give me their time freely and without complaining, or without making every single thing about them and what you did to them, it's always about what you did to them, and it's never about what did I do as well. They never see those things, and that can be quite frustrating. The person makes everything about them, but you know it is what it is. And I always say, when you find out how somebody is, then it's time for you to put on your big girl panties or your big boy drawers and make a decision. Make a decision. you know Make a decision to improve your life for the better. Make your life better. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to have struggle friendships, struggle relationship. You can have a relationship that is thriving and peaceful and happy, and shouldn't have to settle in that. Shouldn't have to settle for anything, and especially you shouldn't have to settle when it comes to relatives, because for such a long time, one of my biggest challenges was just feeling like you could be in this big family and have all of these people around, but feel alone because everybody's in their own world and only thinking about themselves. But trust and believe, when they need something, you're supposed to drop everything for them, and you haven't talked to them, they haven't checked on you. So I don't have time for those type of relationships anymore. If somebody doesn't care for me in my presence, I don't care for them in my presence. And I mean that. I stop letting people take advantage of me. I stop letting people use me. Just stop. I think that's important. It's just stopping yourself from being used, and knowing that, you know, if people don't like you, believe it. If people don't want to be around you, believe it. And it's hurtful sometimes when people just don't treat you right or be nice to you, but sometimes it's like people will look at you for who you were years ago, or a year ago, or a month ago, or one decision that you made, and judge you for the rest of your life over it. And that's one of the reasons why I said I'm so thankful for redemption. I'm so thankful for change and hope. And I'm grateful that God doesn't judge me for forever from one or two or a few decisions that I made. And that's one of the reasons why I keep my circle so small. I keep the people that's close to my heart, a very small amount of people I let get into my heart anymore, because I don't believe in people just saying the word, I love you. That love has to come with some proof. You love me. How? What are you doing to prove that love? Don't let people take advantage of you and use you. And that's one of the things before. It's like I was telling all these people that I love them, but they were doing nothing to love me. And that's one of the things that can be a really big challenge in this life is you're doing more pouring out than you're getting poured into you. But the only person that can change that is you. And I realized almost 9 years ago that I was doing more pouring out than pouring in. I had to go about removing myself from relationships and calling and supporting and being there and listening to people, because that's not love. That's not care. That's not concern. That's not friendship. That's toxicity. But only when they want something from you that you hear from them. And I don't have time for that. What they call I'm booked and busy. And a lot of people don't understand that, your life doesn't revolve around them anymore. Yeah, life has continued without you. And not only has it continued, but I'm being blessed since you've left. And a lot of times, romantic relationship, relative, friends, if you have the wrong people in your life, they can be the ones that is the reason why you have mental health issues. It's the reason why you have a low financial income. It's the reason why you're having some health problems because of them. And when you release yourself from those individuals, now you can be happy. Now you can have peace because they were the ones disrupting it and bringing drama and negativity into your life. And nobody has time for that. I hope all of my Just family that you're in that space too of not allowing people to disrupt your mental health, not listening to what other people say, and I can't say like people say, oh, I don't care. I'm not in that zone anymore because I do care. I do care how people talk to me, and I do care how people treat me. But I care more about what I think. I care about what God thinks because I'm in the space of my life where if people cannot do right to me, I don't care about hearing the words. I care and I support and I love because those are only words, but where is the proof? It's not there. It's easy for a person to say they care, but it's a whole nother thing to prove it. A whole nother thing. So that's one of the things that I had to walk away from, acceptance, feeling like I wanted to be accepted. And I think that goal carries a heavy weight with relatives, carries a heavy weight in friendships, it carries a heavy weight in business, carries a heavy weight in a romantic relationship. First, you got to care about yourself. And there's a lot of people when they're not used to that. They're not used to that because maybe before you never cared about doing things for yourself, and taking care of yourself, and loving yourself, and doing a lot of personal growth and healing. And I am so grateful for change and for hope and for having the proper perspective. I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful to know that I have hope every day that I wake up, that I don't have to depend on other people and what they think about me. It's about what do I think about myself, it's about what you think about yourself, it's about what God thinks about me, and it's the people who actually are doing the pouring into, the people who are actually calling out of care and concern and not based on what you do for them, but they're willing to sacrifice and do something for you. And I want more relationships like that. People who just want to be in your life because they want to give something to you. They don't want anything from you. I'm tired of the taking relationships. I need more people in my life that will just give to me, not wanting anything. I don't want anything but to just be around my energy, to just hear my laughter, or it's the free things in life I think that matter the most as I'm getting older. It's not about the money, it's about quality time and making memories. And that really holds a lot of weight as I'm getting older and, dealing with challenges and problems in this life, learning to really pay attention to who pays attention to me. It's a very clear indication, very, very clear. It's very clear to me now more than ever who I can trust, who I should listen to, and who I shouldn't. So if you guys already are in that space of feeling unsupported, if you're feeling unloved, if you're feeling disrespected, those people aren't for you. Those spaces aren't for you. That job isn't for you. Okay. And a lot of times we'll force it and tell ourselves, well, who else is going to do it? Sometimes it's best to just be by yourself, to just cut off everybody so that you can take care of yourself. And I did that a few months ago, and I'm so happy that I did that because I needed time for me, just to think, just to heal. And to anybody who's enduring anything heavyweight, I hope you get a chance for your healing, or to feel positive, to be positive, and just take time for yourself. You know, we never know how long we're going to get in this life. You don't know how many days you're going to be alive and to be flesh and blood. But the most important thing is that you put in work into yourself to use the days that you have to be happy. Use the days that you have to have joy. Use your life on your terms and be happy. And choose people who choose you and discard the ones that don't choose you. You know who they are already. You know who they are. So just leave them alone. Leave people alone that don't care about you. Yeah. Just leave them alone and move along. I think that was a very important message, and I hope that somebody who needed to hear that will do something with that. Sometimes it's not easy to just pick up and move on with your life, but it's a gradual process. Telling yourself, I deserve better. And then with that, knowing I deserve better, apply that in your life. I deserve better. I deserve to eat better. I deserve to get my exercise. I deserve to take care of my mental health. I deserve to take time for my solo time. I deserve to have time for my spirituality. I deserve to have time to, spend money on myself without other people dissecting it and taking apart. Why are you spending this money? No. Don't have people in your life that want to tell you how you should live your life. It won't work. You'll be very miserable. Have people in your life that will encourage you to be happy, encourage you to go after your goals and your dreams, and then that's it. I think that's a very important space to be in life as a grown woman or as a grown man, knowing that you deserve peace and you deserve happiness, and other people can't give that to you. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you try to force it, forcing relationships doesn't work. Stop forcing things to work. Stop forcing things to happen that is just not happening. And it's just not working and most likely has never worked, but you're trying to make it work. And that would be the reason why a lot of times you have this challenge, because you're holding on to something that you need to let go of. You're holding on to people, you're holding on to things, and you're holding on to things that maybe people have said about you that's not true. That's one of the things that I had to learn. I had to let go of people and the things that they have said that hurt me. The only reason something should hurt you is when it's true, because things sting you when it's true. You don't want to accept it. But if it's not true, why are you giving it so much weight and power over you? And only you can answer that. I know my reason why it hurt me. I know why I didn't like certain things, because there was times in my life where I was lacking in humility, and I didn't want nobody to tell me what to do. There was times in my life where I was lonely, or I was desperate, or I didn't know my power, I didn't know my worth, I didn't have any self-esteem. I didn't need certain individuals. All I need in this life was God and me. And everybody else, in addition to that, was going to be an addition. It was going to be a compliment. And that's the thing about this life, is if you find that people aren't complimenting your life, they're not complimentary, they're not supportive, they're not encouraging, and they're more on the zone of being judgmental, projecting fears and insecurities, affecting your mental health, making you feel insecure, making you feel like you're not enough. Those are people that you have to get rid of. And there's no other way around that but to say that. You can't keep people around that don't care anything about you. And I wanted to say that to somebody who needs to hear it. You're going to get through this. You're going to get past. But you have to put in work. You have to find your voice. You must set boundaries. You must respect yourself. And you can't have people in your life that don't do anything good for you. It can't just be giving. It can't be just you doing. It can't just be you making a choice to have peace. You have to be around people who are in that space of peace too. Because I did that for a very long time. Because I was in a space of peace, but you're around somebody who always wants to argue, who always wants to find fault with everything you're doing and saying. You'll never have joy in your life when you're around somebody who doesn't want to be joyful. You got to have people in your life that want to have joy, or your joy will be fleeting. You'll never be able to keep joy. And that was a big challenge for me, to be able to be honest enough with myself to say, the reason I don't have joy in my life is because I have people who are draining my joy. I have people in my life that are miserable and angry, dysfunctional, drama-filled, negative, the people who don't love themselves. So if you have people in your life and they don't love themselves, how can they love you? And that was the challenge, when you have to look at that and face the reality that you are around people and you have relationships with people who don't have a relationship with themselves. It's just never going to work. And you can't have relationships with people who don't have their own relationship with God. Hey, Leonica, how are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. You can't be with people who don't have a relationship with God. You can, but is it going to be a good relationship? Because if you're moving towards a zone of peace and prosperity and change and being kind and respectful, and they don't have any standards because they're not moving toward the same goalpost you're moving towards. You know, it's all about, choices that we have to make every day that we wake up. Am I going to allow negativity in this life? Am I going to allow people to use me and take advantage of me? Or am I going to be the one that makes the choice, but I choose me? And that's something that helped me so much to endure. I don't need negativity. I don't need drama. I don't need somebody who is always complaining or mistreating me. I want to say that to everybody. Raise your elevation, raise your vibes, and don't let people take advantage of you and use you. Don't. Don't settle in romantic relationships. Don't settle in friendship. Don't settle on social media. Don't settle in business. If you want something, if you have values, if you have standards, if you have dreams, if you have hopes, and other people cannot respect you, love you, and pour into you, you need to get yourself away from those people because you're never going to be happy and be your best self listening to people who only care about themselves. If you have people who are only caring about themselves, they're never going to care about you. And you have to let them go. Have to. It's mandatory. That's the reason why we can be having challenges sometimes in our life because we're holding on to people who we need to let go of. They're the one dragging us down. And so people with a crab in the barrel mentality. And this is the last point I want to talk about in dealing with challenges and how we can be better and improved and endure is we have to practice resiliency. And I want to say that to all of my GEMS family, you're resilient. There's so many things that we endure on a day-to-day basis as a woman or as a man, and other people would just don't know. People don't know the struggles, the battles, the hills and the valleys that we face, that you face on a day-to-day basis, and most people don't care. But you are the one that has to encourage your own self. You're the one that has to say, I'm proud of myself. I'm doing a great job. And that does so much for your mental, for your emotional, for your physical well being. Because when you believe in yourself, when you have confidence, there's nothing that you can't do when you're confident. There's nothing that you can't go through. There's nothing that you can't move through. There's nothing that you can't endure when you believe in yourself, when you're confident. There's nothing that you can't. No matter what, you continue on. No matter what, you keep striving. No matter what, you keep going. That's important. And I wanted to encourage everybody with that statement too. No matter what, you keep going. Never stop. Never give up. And there's certain things that we can do, like I said, cutting people off, blocking them, and making sure that we're reading positive material, whatever positive material it is that you want to read. But you got to fortify your mind, because your mind is your seat of motivation. And if your mind is not encouraged, you're not going to be thinking in a proper way. And I didn't understand that before. That when I was feeling very discouraged and very sad, I had stopped reading positive things. Like I wasn't reading anything actually. I was just letting my mind control my situation. And you become overwhelmed because sometimes our mind does not tell us good things. But we got to train our mind. It doesn't mean we can't change our mind. We can't shift it. You have to tell yourself when something negative comes up to your mind, you have to tell yourself, I'm okay. I will get through this. This too shall pass. I believe in myself. I trust God. God is going to get me through this. Everything's going to be okay. Just keep going and keep doing your best, and everything will fall into play. But there's not a lot of things that we can do about what's happening on the outside and what other people will say and their negativity. We can't do anything about that part. But what we can do is focus on positive things and do things to take care of ourselves. Stepping outside of the box and trying something new, and not telling our business. Stop depending on other people because you'll always be let down. If you're depending on a person to get you through, you'll get disappointed. You got to put your trust in God. You have to believe in yourself. You have to encourage yourself. I say this all the time. You have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be your own advocate, your own friend. And I could talk about it for over an hour about how important it is to be your own best friend. Not just a friend, a best friend. So, when you have yourself as a friend, you have everything that you need. It's nice to have other people in your life, but you got to take care of you, your emotional, your mental, your physical, your financial, your spiritual, everything. Your well-being, how you're eating, the relationships that you have. If it's not healthy, it doesn't bring you peace, it's not joyful, those are the people that you have to cut off. It's just not worth it, and they're not worth it. I just wanted to say that to everybody. You deserve the best. You deserve to be treated well, talked to well, respected, poured into, encouraged, and it may not come from the people around you because they may not know how to love themselves. So most definitely they can't love you if they don't love themselves. And I just wanted to let you all know that. Love yourself first. Value yourself. And never stop going after your dreams. Never stop living your life. Never stop. So if you've had something that you've gone through and you feel like you've hit rock bottom, you feel like now you've started all over again, congratulations. This is your opportunity for rebirth, for new opportunities, for a new perspective. Welcome it. Okay? And when people show you that you can't depend on them, you should be happy, be thankful. Now you don't have to deal with them and their drama and their negativity, and move on with your life. Okay? Yes, that's right, Lara. Do you and be you and never stop. Never ever stop. Never ever give up. And it's been a long road for me coming to the space where I can say, I really love myself. And I'm happy to say that, and I'm happy to report it. And I believe it with every fiber of my being. Loving yourself for the way you look, the way you talk, for what you have been through, what you have endured. Encourage yourself and love yourself and be your best self. So I want to say I appreciate all of my GEMS family, and I hope that anybody who needed to hear this message today, it was something in here that encouraged you and built you up and got you thinking about your life. And don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let people manipulate you. Don't. You're worth it. Even if people don't think you're worth it, you're worth it. Find the ones that will value you, value your time, value your mind, value your body, value your life. Because if they don't, you'll be wasting your time and making yourself miserable. You can endure anything, any problem, any drama, any change, anything, just keep going. Never, ever give up. I'm Life with Marlene, your Florida blogger for lifestyle videos, motivation, and travel videos. Stay tuned for new vlogs. New vlogs always come out every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I welcome you all to tap into those videos. So, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try my best to come back on live on Monday. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday, a great weekend. And hopefully I will see you all back on Monday. I'll see you guys in the shorts, in the premieres, in the lives. And you know what I say over here on Life with Myself of my life through my channel membership. It starts at 99 cents. And I'll see you all on the next one. If you're watching in the replay, make sure you leave me a comment below and hit the like. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your day and your weekend.